My apologies for that. I was ready to go on video again today. Somehow it's throwing my picture up there on the screen. But today I want to talk about happiness. Does everyone know what happiness is? Has everyone got happiness in their lives? Does everyone know why you should put happiness first? Well, today I'd like to talk a little bit about happiness and what it means to me, and perhaps to you too. I'm not sure. But I grew up growing up is a very interesting experience for me because I'm still growing. And when I say it's been an interesting experience, I need to say that I was never really one to step in line, but on the other hand, I was never really one to step out of line. I think I grew up with the idea that there seemed to be a lot of control around me. There seemed to be a lot of authority figures telling us what to do, how to act, how to march, how to talk, how to walk. And it drove me nuts. I really didn't fit in well at school. Although I could be a good student if I applied myself, and I've proven that with a university degree, I was never one to, play the game where you had to do it their way. And I suppose that, it got me in a little bit of trouble, but it couldn't take away my freedom. They couldn't take away my freedom. And it seems to me the majority of people around me, especially when I went back in time to visit people that I'd gone to school with. Now they're families, they've got jobs, they've got responsibilities, and of course life is a lot different for them. So here's what I sense. I sense that the majority seem to be willing to accept the job, accept a relationship. I got a lot of friends who went through a lot of relationship problems, but they were willing to accept that relationship or a lifestyle that they were merely simply just tolerating and never really appreciated. In other words, they were willing to accept and fall into line with the social programming of responsibility and the need to hold down steady employment. Now, I did not grow up in an entrepreneurial family. My mother was a traditional mother, stay-at-home mother. She picked up the odd job once in a while just because she would go nuts if she sat in the house so long. But my dad was the breadwinner. He was the guy responsible, and he's the guy who took care of us. Now, we were taught that if you did a good job, and if you showed up to work every day, you were a success. You're doing what you have to do, because if you don't, you're damned. And if you do, you're damned. So if you do, if you don't, you don't. You know those people. Another day, another dollar. So what is expected from society has become more or less a measuring stick for your success in your life. Responsibly doing your duty, responsibly going out, making it, trudging it each and every day, without cultivating a life of happiness, which leads to a better experience. Sooner or later you realize that you're feeling like a complete and utter failure. You look around, you discover you've been living in an existence that has been robbing you of any chance to participate in the exciting adventure that we call life. And it's so true. And you've been reading the rule book all wrong, and have completely misunderstood the purpose of life and the miracle that it is. Is there a way out? Is it possible to repurpose your beliefs so you can begin to experience life the way it's supposed to be? Here are a few questions you should ask yourself about where you are in your life. Do you love and do you appreciate your work? Do you love and appreciate your relationships? Do you love and appreciate your lifestyle? These are all important questions. What is the truth in your situation? You have to think long. You got to think hard. What's the truth in your situation? Until you're able to answer these questions honestly and without denial about where you are, you will never ever get unstuck. You will never ever be able to move forward without feeling sharp pangs of guilt that keep you trapped in the martyr's role. Everybody's a martyr. I'd have to say my dad was a martyr. He did everything for us. The role of the responsible provider. He wore that coat well. And to some degree, many of us wear that coat fairly well too. But this is a tough thing to get over, since you've been programmed since birth to do it the way it should be done, to do it the way the corporations want it to be, to do it the way your teachers want it to be. So we all get caught up of getting involved in doing the things that we don't really want to do, but we do it anyway, especially if it pays well. Now here's something about job satisfaction. I was reading a survey this week. Well, it's an older survey actually. In 2011, a survey of U.S. households conducted for the Conference Board by Nielsen. Nielsen is a ratings company. Finds that now the article reported this as being 47 or whatever the number is, 47.8% people are happy about their jobs, right? I just turned it around and I went, look, that means 52.8% of the people out there really don't like what they're doing. And that is one heck of a lot of people out there. That's a lot of people who do not have happiness. So there's a lot to read in that survey. And personally, it tells me that things are not as it seems out there. So what does happiness look like? Let's talk about happiness for a minute. Happiness is waking up, feeling optimistic, and expectant about the day you get to live. Happiness makes it hard to stay in bed once you are awakened. A rich day full of new experiences and creative expressions awaits you. It's exciting. You wake up and it's an exciting thing. Happiness is the stillness that exists within energy and movement. When you are happy, you can still pay your bills on time, but you'll make better choices about which bills you're incurring. Remember last week we talked about money consciousness? Well, that's up on my blog. I'd love for you guys to go and put a comment about it. But we talked about the money consciousness, about the way money flows. And how rich people do not incur large amounts of debt based on credit cards because there's no collateral. When you're happy, you're going to stop using your credit cards, believe me. You'll start thinking more, paying more attention to your future and where you're going and how you're getting there. When you're happy, you can still pay your bills on time. That's not a problem. When you're happy, you can still support others if you want. But this will be done not because you have this sense of responsibility pushing you forward. It'll be because you truly want to do it, not because you feel obligated to do it. When you're happy, you can still enjoy a stable career. But you'll produce more significant value in less time because happiness inspires creativity and action. And creative action is a wellspring of opportunity, a wellspring which can, if so desired, produce abundant income for you. Rest assured, your world will not explode simply because you decided to be happy today and to make your happiness a true priority. More likely what will happen, things will switch and change around you so quickly, you'll wonder where all this abundance was before. Look, when I make decisions that are aligned with my happiness first, I feel really good about that. When Janet makes decisions that revolve around what makes her happy first, she gets more things done. I've never seen Janet get out of bed in the morning with a depressed feeling or attitude. It's always excitement for her. It's always, let's get up, let's get going, let's get moving. She doesn't look to the approval of others for what she does or doesn't do. And neither do I. I could care less what people think about what I'm doing or how I'm going about doing it. The minute I start worrying about that or listening to what other people are saying about me, that's the minute I drop them as a friend. Because those are the people you do not want to listen to. Because those people are not living happiness first and everything else second. So if you're not happy, number one, it's because you don't approve of yourself. And if you don't approve of yourself, you got to figure out what's holding you back. You got to figure out why you're not happy. And that's a lot of people. That's half of your neighbors. 52.4% of us are not happy in what we do. We're not happy in life. That's a lot of unhappiness out there. And it's a lot of unhappiness that we have to deprogram. There's a lot of unhappiness that we need to move forward with. So guys, quit playing the martyr role. Quit doing things because you think you're supposed to do that way. Try it this way. No, I'm going to the beach today because it makes me feel happy. Or I'm going for a walk in the woods today because it clears my mind and brings me a sense of joy. And then I'll look after you guys. It's really quite simple. So try that, guys. Try being happy first and let everything else go second. And you will find that although it seems a little weird and a little scary to do it that way, your life will change tremendously. Your life will change quickly. And things will happen so fast around you, like I said before, you'll wonder where the heck the abundance was before. Abundance stems from happiness. Abundance stems from doing what it is you want to do, not what other people tell you what to do. Because you're just setting yourself up for frustration. You're setting yourself up for depression. And my goodness, how many people are on meds out there? Just because they feel they're forced to do something they don't want to do. So my simple strategy to you guys, let it go. Be happy today. And that means going out and doing something happy for you. And forget about everybody else. Do it for you. Because the minute you start looking after you, that's the minute everything else changes. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all the very best week ever. So get out there, enjoy it, be happy. And I hope your results are better than you had imagined or even had thought you'd get. So with that, Jan, I'll give the room back to you. And thank you, everyone.